Morning, guys. I'm packed up last night at Whakaipo Bay. I hope I'm saying that right. It's near Taupo, and it is a beautiful spot. The road was a little bit challenging coming in because it's single lane and gravel and a bit rutted and some funny cambers. Cambers always freak me out a little bit when I'm driving, and the whole truck's sort of ending up on a lean, and because it's quite tall, it sort of freaks me out a little bit, but it was okay. And it is beautiful. It's really, really stunning. And so yesterday I caught up with some friends of mine, Phil and Ellie, who were at the Gypsy Fair when I was, and Kim and Alan are here too, which was a surprise. So I caught up with them last night, till pretty late. So that's been all cool. And what I want to talk about in this video as I travel slowly is being prepared for the road. You know, I meet a lot of people who would like to do it before retirement. There are a lot of retired people out there, and, you know, they've been smart, they've invested their money financially, they have the pension coming in plus whatever they've saved. So they're pretty much okay in most cases. But it's the younger people who want to do it who I see struggling a bit sometimes as to how to earn a buck on the road. And yeah, I mean, I went through that. I first went on the road when I was quite unwell with chronic fatigue syndrome. So I was actually on a bit of a benefit for a little while just to get a bit better. But it was like, what am I going to do? I'm on the road. How am I going to earn a living? And that's how I started doing fairs, was because, like, well, I can work 2 days a week. I'm healthy enough to do that, to handle that. And the rest of the week I can chill and relax and travel a little bit, and it'll be all good. So I did that and dumped the benefit they'd put me on because I don't like those, and carried on traveling. So yeah, the fairs were a really good stepping stone for me. But what I realised at the fairs was that, you know, some of the people there were retired and so forth, so they had another income, whereas for me, a rainy weekend could mean a very, very lean week. So I thought, well, I've got to start building something else off my own as well. So I started building up my web presence, built a website, spent a lot of years promoting it and sharing content, and I still do. My other channel's entirely based on my work. And yeah, that's all about sharing, you know, free tarot card for the week and different spiritual content and stuff. So, and that's something I just have to keep going. It's not because I've reached a level of success that I can just sit back and it just does its thing now. I've got to keep promoting it, writing blog posts, and keeping it relevant and current. All my rankings in Google are going to slide down the page, something shocking. So, you know, and I have to maintain the website and all of that stuff. So I do work actually quite a few hours every week, if you include all of that stuff. But I can do it at my own pace. I can get up early, do my work, and then travel a bit and things like that. I mostly tend to travel weekends now when I'm not working. And yeah, so that works. But for people who are younger, you know, looking at different ways to earn a living, there is the digital nomad. You can do quite a few things online. You can even have a small online store or something like that. So there's all of that. There are a lot of people who've got skills who actually do that. And yeah, it is so very, very possible now. But another thing, I've met quite a few people who get into doing seasonal work and travel around and might work for 3 months in Central Otago and do that for a while and then carry on travelling, and they might end up in Blenheim for the vineyards or Hawke's Bay or apples in the Nelson area or whatever. You know, there's quite a bit of seasonal work to be had in New Zealand at the moment. I last heard that Hawke's Bay's actually got a real shortage of staff, so there's plenty of work going on there. But that's an entire issue of its own. I got my head bitten off on one of their pages the other day for suggesting that they were getting in cheap labour from overseas, and that was, you know, making locals not so keen on picking the fruit there because the pay rate just hasn't gone up much over the years. So, but they can sort that out. But the option is there. another couple of friends, they just do markets, local markets, and yeah, sell their product there. You can do that. You can even travel around and get into markets. It does take a little bit of sorting out, especially if you want to take your motorhome into the market. Some of them are too small, so you may need a gazebo that you can, put onto smaller sites and not bring your motorhome in. Depends on the market. You can sort that out with the individuals. The Rotorua one's always dead keen on people bringing motorhomes in. And yeah, they're always really happy when I turn up there. So that one's great. If they're doing a 2-day market, you can stay on the venue overnight and things like that. So there's that. I've met other people too who've become self-employed through other skills they have. I've met people who are, electrical experts and things like that. Some friends of mine, they have a little business. Well, it's a little vehicle, but it's a good business, and it's called Black Box. And it has, he's an electrical engineer, and he sorts out electricals for tiny houses and things like that, and businesses and whatever. So yeah, he works mobile. So, that's another thing. You could do things like that. I remember when I was first on the road, I drove through not Fiordland, South Westland. I was down at the glaciers, and at one of the glaciers I met this guy who wanted me to paint their hall, which I actually couldn't do because I didn't have the gear anymore. I didn't have a ladder and stuff. But yeah, though, for them to get a painter in, for example, in that remote area was going to cost them heaps. So they were looking for somebody who could stay there and do the work and get on with it. I know another guy who's got a bus. He's a jib stopper, and he's got a really good contract with one of the firms that builds houses, and yeah, so that keeps him on his toes. So there really are quite a few ways that people who are younger can sustain themselves on the road. So keep an eye out if you're keen but you're wondering how on earth you're going to do that. Keep an eye out for what people are doing out there, different ways. YouTube's a good place to have a look, Facebook. There are lots of people doing all sorts of different kinds of work to sustain themselves as they travel. And yeah, okay, it affects your travel a little bit. Like, I watch a lot of the groups and they do these big tours together through areas, and I couldn't do that because I have to stop and work. So, for me, my travelling is a bit slower, but that's okay. It means I spend longer in each place, and I actually quite enjoy that. After like 12 years of travelling with fairs and being in a different town every single weekend, it's actually quite nice to spend 2 or 3 weeks in a place, so it's a different way of travelling. I find it less stressful actually. It's quite nice. You haven't got that constant pressure, and I'm using less fuel and road users and all of that. So yeah, there really are some good options. I'm going to try and do a couple of interviews if I run into these people I know, see if they're keen on that and their little businesses, because I think that would be really fun. So if you've got any ideas for other people, because I get asked a lot, I'd like to be on the road, but what am I going to do? Please put them in the comments below. Because I don't know every way that people earn a living on the road. If you've got other ideas, yeah, please mention it and share it and get the word out there, because yeah, ideas are always